The navies of India, Japan, the United States and Australia started a joint military exercise, Malabar 2020, earlier this month. Observers say the drill is meant to curb Beijing's increasing military and political expansion in the Indo-Pacific region. At the same time, Germany also declared it will dispatch a frigate to patrol the Indian Ocean with the Australian Navy. The country's Ministry of Defence emphasised that Germany will not turn a blind eye to China. The Quad nations began the Malabar 2020 drill in the Bay of Bengal on November the 3rd. The Malabar drills were launched by India and the United States in 1992. Japan joined as a permanent partner in 2015, while Australia is rejoining the drills for the first time in 13 years. Australian Defence Minister Linda Reynolds said, "The joint drill showcases the deep trust between the four major Indo-Pacific democracies. High-end military exercises like Malabar are key to enhancing Australia's maritime capabilities, building interoperability with our close partners, and demonstrating our collective resolve to support an open and prosperous Indo-Pacific," Reynolds remarked.
The reason why these countries have come together and their coalition may continue to expand in the future is mainly due to security concerns. The CCP has become more and more powerful with its economic development. It is also more and more capable of posing a threat to the West with its military technology and other capabilities. Everyone can see clearly that the Chinese Communist regime does not even care about its own citizens, not in the least. In the future, if it becomes a superpower in the world, it certainly will not care about other countries.
Previously, Australia participated in the Malabar drills, once in 2007, but was met with strong opposition from China. The relationship between the two countries deteriorated greatly when the Australian government called for an independent investigation into the origin of the CCP virus in May. The Chinese government immediately imposed sanctions on Australian exports, which many Australians believe to be in retaliation. In the first week of November, Australian media reported that Chinese importers suddenly stopped buying certain commodities from Australia, such as wine, lobster, coal, timber, wool, barley and copper ore. Although the CCP denied that it had imposed sweeping trade sanctions against Australia, many Chinese importers revealed that they had received verbal directives from government officials.
Australia rejoining signifies a multilateral containment of Beijing. In fact, when Beijing has offended Australia, it also occurred trouble for itself. On the one hand, Australia today is no longer the previous Australia when appeasement was the prominent policy. On the other hand, Australia is a powerful country that will not act as a coward when challenged. However, according to the CCP's past practices, it would either influence Australia by means of the United Front or conduct itself as a bully. Now the United Front method is failing in Australia, and the CCP does not have a third way to interact with other countries other than intimidation or bribery. So could only resort to intimidation. This will certainly irritate Australia, and Beijing will achieve the opposite result, accelerating the formation of the Asian-Pacific NATO.
Analysts also believe that by rejoining the Malabar drills, Australia is seeking a long-term strategy to curb the CCP.
Several years ago, many people still had illusory hopes for the CCP, and back then, the CCP indeed behaved differently on the surface. Now the CCP has put aside all its disguises. On the Hong Kong issue and human rights issue, it flagrantly disregards international opinions and appeals. The CCP does not bother to cover up its unscrupulous nature now. Under such circumstances, the Western countries cannot tolerate it anymore. They will have to form an alliance to counter the CCP, as they must get united to protect their own security.
The Malabar 2020 military exercise has two phases. The first phase was held from November the 3rd to November the 6th in the Bay of Bengal. The second phase is set to be performed in the Arabian Sea from November the 17th to November the 20th. The first phase includes the Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyer USS John S. McCain, the Indian Navy's Shakti, Ranvijay, Shivalik and submarine Sindhuraj, the Australian Navy's HMAS Ballarat and the JS Onami from the Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Force. On November the 5th, The US 7th Fleet posted a video of the warships from the navies of the Quad Nations in formation. On the same day, Germany declared that the German Navy will deploy a frigate to patrol the Indian Ocean along with the Australian Navy. German Defence Minister Annegret Kramp-Karrenbauer explained to the Sydney Morning Herald that she believes China's ambition for global supremacy can only be approached multilaterally. China's Foreign Affairs Ministry has basically remained silent on this year's Malabar drill.